During his third detention, Michael Koigi Wamwere and his compatriots acquired new identities. They vowed to keep their long hair, or the dreadlocks, as a symbol of defiance, though he admits it was not by design but by default.
You know, a lot of people think that we started the journey for dreadlocks. In fact, we didn't. This was imposed on us by prison authorities. Because after we had been arrested and charged with treason, the one thing that prison authorities wanted to portray us were gorillas, freedom fighters, Mau Maus. And so to make us look so, whenever they took us back to prison and we asked them for a comb, to comb our hair and keep it smart, they would say that they didn't keep combs in prison.
But the dreadlocks soon became a trademark for their supporters, who proudly donned them as a symbol of struggle against Kanu's rule.
We noticed that people who came to court to give us support, some of them, especially one called Coming Soon, he would come with a portrait of us wearing the dreadlocks. And then we started to notice that the authorities would become angry at the portraits. And then we asked ourselves, if they are getting angry at the portraits, maybe these dreadlocks carry some power which is irritating to authorities. And then we looked back at the Bible where Samson's power lay in his dreadlocks. And we said, why not use this as an instrument of struggle? Now that they don't like it, let us like it.
This annoyed prison authorities, who schemed to have them shaved completely. But Team Koigi were not ready for that and vowed to only cut their hair after Kanu was removed from power.
We ended up managing to get the court to give us an injunction against prison authorities' attempts to cut off the dreadlocks. And I guess, and I believe that because of the injunction that we earned from the magistrate, ours became the only dreadlocks that went to prison several times without being cut. Even after release, when we continued to have it and we were almost immediately rearrested, we would go back to prison with the same hair, and we would use the same injunction to protect it against prison authorities. And later we would tell the country that we would keep this hair until Moi and his regime left power.
In December 2002, the opposition under the NAC banner handed Kanu a resounding defeat at the ballot. Koigi Wamwere was elected member of parliament for Subukia constituency and sneaked to parliament and was sworn into office with his dreadlocks still on.
And I think that the speaker did not notice until I was ahead of him. When I was holding the Bible, he noticed that in fact I had the dreadlocks, but it was too late. But sometimes I wonder, even if he had noticed, before we were sworn in, we were not yet MPs. So what legal powers would he have to stop me having them? Unless he brought a barber there to wait for me to get to that point of being sworn. And he would say he must take the haircut before he is sworn. So it's really by accident.
How was it like swearing in an MP with dreadlocks?
Listen, the speaker does not see. The members see for the speaker. So the speaker sits there until his attention is drawn to that fact. And when my attention was drawn to the mode of appearance or dressing of a member, then I suddenly see. You suddenly see what you are not seeing before. Because that is how it is. It is the house belongs to members. So it is the members who must complain to the speaker. Now, until there's a complaint, you see nothing and you hear nothing. But once the members have complained, you suddenly see and you suddenly hear. And when that has been brought to your attention, then it becomes your duty to ensure that the right thing happens. And if there's something wrong, then that wrong is corrected.
Untrue to his word, on January 22nd, 2003, he fulfilled his 12-year promise of shaving his dreadlocks, since KANU was no longer the ruling party. A promise that was fulfilled in full glare of the media, both local and international. Ironically, the venue for the much-anticipated event was the school that bears the name of the man who first detained Koigi, the Jomo Kenyatta High School in Nakuru.
I was a bit reluctant to shave it. I would have preferred to keep on wearing it. But then I knew that the vow I made was to the whole country and to the whole world. And I'm sure there were people watching. In any case, being in Parliament, I was not going to be allowed to continue keeping it. But I cut it reluctantly.
However, his 12 years of detention made him learn more bitter lessons in life on aspects he says many might be taking for granted.
I've come to discover that a parent suffers more pain for her children than the pain that children can suffer for a parent. And I therefore understand what sort of pain my mother was going through. All her children locked up. And after we came out of prison, of course, we must have wondered what we could do to compensate. But I think with this, other than being together again, we felt that our freedom was the best gift that our mother could have for her suffering.
His turbulent political activism life left his family wounded. His father paid the ultimate price with his life, suffering multiple strokes that eventually killed him as his sons remained in detention. That was the turning point in Koigi Wamwere's life. His mother, who put her life on the line, now lives a quiet life in Nakuru County.
The other thing that we have hoped for in terms of rewarding our mother is that we will never lose our freedom again. Because as I said, our father died from the loss of our freedom. If freedom were to be lost again, of course it would be a terrible blow to mother and to anybody who loves us and ultimately the country. So let me put it this way. We have tried to be the best sons that we can be to our mother. We know that we are indebted to her forever. We understand that she has done more for us than just to give birth to us. In fact, we feel that every time she had to fight for our freedom and release from prison was a rebirth, different from the earlier one. And so she has given birth to us severally. which makes her more than an ordinary parent. But I don't think that we shall ever be satisfied that we have treated our mother in the best possible way. We will continue to try, but probably we will never be able to give the perfect gift to our mother that we think we should give to her for everything that she did for us.
Duncan Hemba, KTN, The Untold Story.